Hey, yo, Jay, can we get some ratchet one time?
Look, I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the stop, I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the plays. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the peace, you gon' see the flex when you hear these writtens. Trust me, you know the difference. I got a long ways to climb before you see a slippage. I see the process and the journey I'm supposed to be, but perplexed, cause I don't really see nobody close to me. Hopefully this ain't wasted, and I know it ain't. You gotta take the time for seasoning to marinate. You need the patience and the pressure just to detonate. I'm trying to blow up and these heathens need to get it straight. Gifted with a vision and precision, I'm just trying to make it high key. Might be breaking free like I was Zion in some Nikes. Tucked at the crib, bro, you know just where to find me. Making beats and spitting crack verses pretty likely. Yeah, socks with the burst, boy, I ain't changed a bit. Normal guy till I die, you know what it is. You probably thought I'd give up now that I got some kids, but really now I got these arrows aiming at your ribs. I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the stop, I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the plays. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the peas. Hey, please be on the notice, these my motives. Bought my chicken and it's rotis. You parsimonious, you take it all cause you a locust. My focus is to grow this mission. A visionary, get a dictionary. We here off the rip and we ain't sharing, we just caring. Let me speak it to the manager. We damage her, no you ain't messing with an amateur. I'm ramming, the competition, they ain't standing up. They fanning from left to right cause now they branded us. Now who that is? Mike Jones, they ain't want me now, they all on me. Got counterfeits trying to play me, I guess they thinking I'm Sony. These big head dummies showing up and out of their character. Homie, you need a price cause without it the squad ain't hearing you. Top of that, we ain't fearing you. We swinging for the fences with the sting of a left hook that connects with Sonny Liston. I'm dismissing any and all of the disrespect. Nonetheless, it ain't a threat, I'm just letting y'all know who's next. I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the start, I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the plays. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the peas, you gon' see the...
What's next for me, Joe? I'm gonna get that second bell. Where the f is it? They should have had them two bells ready. Space shine for me.
Yeah. Head up in the clouds, dog, they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test. Now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, don't know what is in me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I've been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working them up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in my, yeah.
Yeah, I got money on my phone and money on me. I got all these hoes, but still lonely. They been blowing on that strong, but still so weak. I've been higher than a drone, but still low-key. We been sitting on the floor, they in the nosebleeds. Lately I've been in control, they can't control me. Yeah, they about to get exposed for being so cheap. I've been sticking to the code and I ain't gon' cheat. Yo, grew my hair, took the grill out. Think it's time to put it back in. Trying to get into that that big house, turn the crib into the mansion. Needed something with that big bounce. You know I had to hit Jackson. Aaron Rodgers with the quick routes. I'm with the gang, we packing. We on the field at Lambo. Might peel in a Lambo. Running drills in my camo. They know what the M stand for. Still got fam in Hawaii, yeah. Couple fans in the lobby, yeah. Couple grand in my pocket, yeah. Couple grams of wasabi, yeah. Eye it up, no glasses. Light it up, no matches. Wife it up, no ratchets. Might turn my wife to an actress. And we gon' make a movie, no Kim K. Give a fuck about what your friends say. I got money on my phone and money on me. I got all these hoes, but still lonely. They been blowing on that strong, but still so weak. I've been higher than a drone, but still low-key. We been sitting on the floor, they in the nosebleeds. Lately I've been in control, they can't control me. Yeah, they about to get exposed for being so cheap. I've been sticking to the code and I ain't gon' cheat. I'm just sticking to the code, I keep it so G. She asked me what I smoke, I'm smoking OG. I don't fool with too many, only catch me 4 deep. Gotta stay away from snakes, swear these people so creep. I've been grinding for a minute, many labels so sleep. These rappers drop a song, be hot for about a week. I put Gucci on my toes, I keep some cold feet. I ain't paying for no home, you niggas know me. I'm about to body the beat. I keep me a hottie with me. She wanna for a fee. Give me that for free. Keep me some money on me. Smoking the gas, keep. You with me, sheesh. But need OG keep. I got money on my phone and money on me. I got all these hoes, but still lonely. They been blowing on that strong, but still so weak. I've been higher than a drone, but still low-key. We been sitting on the floor, they in the nosebleeds. Lately I've been in control, they can't control me. Yeah, they about to get exposed for being so cheap. I've been sticking to the code and I ain't gon' cheat.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand like. You know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, man, we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, at the top of the class on a roll. Ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, at the top of the class on a roll. Ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go. On the road, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Frankie Candles YouTube channel. What is going on, Mafia? Well, We got the little SFP almost of $100,000. We barely front ran that psychological level of 100K, guys, but we did get the sweep of liquidity. And as we looked at on yesterday's live stream, we did come up to our biggest level of resistance, guys. Are we going to be able to break this? Bitcoin's in an interesting spot right now, guys. We do have some bullish signs on Market Cypher B. We also have like one lurking bearish sign on Market Cypher B that if we can get that not to play out, we might be able to come up here, but we do have to break this local downtrend, guys. So in today's live stream, I want to talk about the key levels of resistance above, and more specifically, the doorway that we need to break in order to get into higher prices here and potentially avoid a bigger pullback into about $97,000. Are we going to be able to do it? We looked at that scenario yesterday, and it does look like we might be able to pull it off, but I'm going to show you guys the bullish case, the bearish case. I'll let you guys know which way I'm leaning because we are in an interesting situation here. Technically, the trend is continuing to the downside locally, but if we're able to break above some key levels, hilariously enough, guys, that $105,750 value area high lies right in that confluent area of resistance. I'm going to talk about the exact level and what I want to see that bigger break to the upside. Are we going into all-time highs? Or are we going to get stuck inside this profile and get that bigger drop to the downside? I'm going to cover everything with you guys and talk about what I'm expecting next here on Bitcoin. And stick around till the end of the live stream, guys. We are going to be doing a giveaway. Giving away, I think it's 10 bags of Cardano, I believe. So yeah, stick around till the end of the stream for the giveaway. Smash that like button, guys. If we get, I don't know, 750 likes, maybe we'll add some Frankie Candles hats to that giveaway here. And yeah, shout out to everybody in the chat. We got CandleMafia, John Cena. Vegas Claw said, Frankie the type of guy to steal your girl and then send you videos of all her funny quirks. Shout out to Vegas Club, bro. I want to pin those messages every time you send them. But anyway, let's see. Chill, Frankie, chill. Guys, we got the Aztecian Cactus Moss Water here. New flavor, watermelon lemonade. So I might be a little tweaked out here on the live stream. But anyway, shout out to Tyler Durden. What is going on? Tyler Durden said 751 likes. So run it up to 751 for some free Frankie Candles hats. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. We got Jesse in the chat, our like police. Thank you for being here, bro. We appreciate you. We got Eugene Sky. We got Second Augustus Music. What is going on? He said, yo, champ. What's going on, brother? Welcome in. We got Bullish Bashkar. Hopefully I said that correctly. We got Dawn in the chat. Long time no see, Dawn. Welcome in. We got Goldavelli. We got Danny G. We got Donald Pump in the chat. Maybe that is giving us a little early warning sign to something that's going to happen here on the charts. But yeah, guys, we got a lot to look at here. So I don't want to waste too much time. Let's see. Shout out to 58 bucks said, hey, Frankie, I am short from 105,400. Are we going down more? Shout out to $5. We're going to talk about that right now because we did come into that key level of resistance and we are getting the rejection. The question is, are we going to break into a new low or are we going to crack that downtrend and start pushing into higher prices? I'm going to break down exactly what we're looking for here on the chart. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on into the charts. Let's get into it. So here we are, guys. On the Bitcoin chart, let's go. Send it, LFG Candles. What is going on? Irish Tiger in the chat. Welcome in, bro. We got everybody in here tonight. Bada boom, bada bing. Servando Estrada, welcome in. Said, Frankie, my dude. Hola, welcome in, bro. Good to see you in here. Take a sip of that Aztecian Cactus Moss Water, and let's break down these charts for the Mafia. So, as we sit here, guys, as we all know, I'm going to start here on the higher time frames. I'm going to come up to the daily. And like I said, we do have some potential bullish signs here popping up on Market Cypher B. I'm going to take a look at those with you guys. But overall, just to check in with what we were looking at yesterday, as you guys know, we did come in here and get a little bit of a sweep of liquidity here of the lows here. And this is something that we have been looking at like on the first drop to the downside. It took a little bit to get down there, but we did see that SFP down here. It was not a 1 hour SFP, which is typically what I look for to potentially enter into one of those trades. We did get it on the 4 hour here, and not gonna lie, guys, one of the things that we were looking at here in the premium Discord, I think I can pull it up here. Have it linked all the way back here. This is all the way from, or not all the way, but on June 1st, right, we were looking for a potential swing failure pattern of this low. Now, I am not personally long from this level, and I'll try to explain a little bit why. It's not that I don't think we're going to get the pump, but I was looking to enter like right before I went to sleep, and I just didn't have all my confirmation, so I figured I would let that move push to the upside, and I'll just wait for a bigger sign of strength to get into a new long position. But this is something that we have been looking at for a while now. We showed it on the live stream, looking for some of this liquidity. We had a lot of liquidity sitting below all of these lows, looking for that to get swept and then potentially give us the SFP for a push to the upside. And we almost got this perfectly, guys, here. We barely front ran that $100,000 level, and we also front ran key support down below that we had, which was sitting here at a golden pocket daily naked point of control. Let me pull up that daily MPOC. Actually, let me go ahead and hide all this, and let me move over to my chart, because that is the shared chart that the premium Discord gets to use. So let me come on over here to my actual chart, and I will go ahead and pull up that daily MPOC. And you guys can see here, we did have support down below. Now, again, this was part of the reason why I was not looking to enter that trade like right before I went to sleep. We did not have a 4-hour bullish divergence. We didn't come into the actual key level of support, so I figured, you know what, hey, I'll let that ride go to the upside. If you tuned into yesterday's live stream, you will know that what we were looking at as our key level of resistance was sitting here on our golden pocket 786 Fibonacci retracement, which is the most important level on the chart, because if we are going to put in a lower high and come in and continue this drop to the downside, potentially coming back down to that $100,000 level, this is the area where we would be likely to get that lower high to come in. And again, I'm going to show you those bullish signs on market Cypher B. As of right now, guys, I am not going to say just because we have this golden pocket 786 here that we have to put in the lower high. We just simply don't know if that's going to happen just yet, especially with those bullish signs on market Cypher B. We have a 1-hour money flow crossover into the green. We got the 16-hour green dot. We also have an 8-hour bullish divergence, which again was not printing last night as I was looking at that sweep of liquidity. So again, if I had a 4-hour bull dip down there with the lower time frame SFPs, I probably would have taken that position, but I don't really generally like to enter positions right before I go to sleep, especially with the front run of the support and the lack of divergences. But since then, we have printed the 8-hour bullish divergence with the lower lows on our price action, higher lows on our momentum waves with that SFP. Excuse me. Of that low at about $100,700. Is this enough, guys? Is this enough to come down, sweep that liquidity, and then send Bitcoin into new all-time highs? And I am going to talk about the bullish case in a second, but I do just want to point out, right, yesterday, as we were getting a little bit of a bounce here, we were looking at this as our biggest key level of resistance, and we did wind up, someone actually said, is it possible that we can get a short squeeze? And we actually talked about potentially getting that short squeeze into this level of resistance. And now we're sitting here, we're starting to get a little bit of resistance, but the question is, are we going to come break structure to the downside once again, come tap into that daily naked point of control, which is also confluent with not only $100,000, but also confluent with a golden pocket retracement and our anchored VWAP from the absolute low of coming from $75,000, right? So from the start of this run to the upside, we have this massive anchored VWAP. And again, it's like if we were coming down and we SFP'd into this level last night, it would have looked a little bit better for me. Not that we can't bounce by front running that stuff, but it's just, a lot of times you will come back down and tap those levels. But it is definitely not like 100% needed. And I am going to talk to you guys about what we need to see in order to call for new all-time highs to come in on Bitcoin. There are very specific levels, 2 very specific levels that we need to get above. But as of right now, the question is, are we going to get the lower high? Are we going to come down? If we do, this is going to be that next big level of support. Hopefully, if we do get that, we can hopefully hold this level. Again, this anchored VWAP is going to be absolutely huge. These anchored VWAPs are gigantic levels of support. And very important when looking for the continuation of a trend. Now, you don't always have to come down and tap them. That's, obvious. Obviously, you don't have to come down and tap them, but it would be very, very nice. If we did come down there, I would definitely be looking for a bounce off that level. Not only do you have the anchored VWAP, which, again, very important for the continuation of an uptrend, but we also have the golden pocket retracement, the daily naked point of control. So we do have a nice bit of confluence down there, just like we do up here at this resistance level. So if we get the continuation down, I just want to have you guys covered for that. Next key level of support is going to be sitting down between about $100,000 and $98,729, but that golden pocket anchored VWAP, daily naked point of control. Now, obviously, if we are going to get, for some reason, a bigger correction to the downside, we all know that $97,000 point of control of our macro range is going to be the biggest level, in my opinion, on the chart. If we did come down there, this is really the level you want to hold. So if we do not get the bounce off that first confluent level, which I would expect some kind of a reaction, but if we did not get anything there, or we get a little bounce and then we just continue the downtrend, that is going to be obviously the next key level. These are levels we've been looking at for quite some time. So I just want to keep you guys updated and let you know that those are the next levels underneath us. The next big levels that I'm watching. Now, again, the question is, are we even going to get that, right? Because, again, although I don't love that we, I would have really liked to push into that support, but it is a possibility, guys, with the bullish signs on market Cypher B. If we take a look here, as you know, we do have the 16-hour green dot printing, and this is, almost a bullish divergence, kind of like equal lows there, so you do have a little bit of an exaggerated bullish divergence, but you do have the green dot printing with a 1 hour money flow crossover into the green. So really what I would like to see here is if we can keep this money flow in the green and get that to continue up, this would indicate that we could see potentially the continuation of this trend to the upside, which obviously we do have the 786 in the macro value area high above. The value area high of the macro range does remain an extremely key level of resistance to break above. And I'm going to talk a little bit more in detail of what I'll be looking at for new all-time highs. But if we do see this money flow continue into the green, this would be a good sign that we could see the continuation of that trend. And it would give us an ability or the possibility of potentially just breaking out here. And this was kind of the, as we talked about the lower retracement levels yesterday, we also went over that one situation that, or not even just yesterday, over this past week, we've been looking at that like one bullish scenario that might be able to save us from getting those bigger retracements towards $97,000, and we are pretty much getting it. Although we front ran that support, we did get the SFP here of all that liquidity sitting below. We've shown the heat maps, and we even talked about how it's like not even just this low, it was also just all these lows, right? Anyone longing within this range, their stop losses are going to go below. It would be really nice to go sweep out that liquidity. And again, we did front run that support, but technically we did SFP there, and it could give us that bigger move to the upside when we look at that 16-hour green dot and the 1 hour money flow crossover into the green. Now, the nice thing here, guys, for the move up is if we do get that continuation up on the money flow in the 1 hour, we also have our daily VWAP attempting. We still have about I almost said 104 hours. We right now have about 2 hours left to print our next daily candle, but this VWAP is trying to come to the upside. So this will be the next signal on Market Cypher B that I'll be watching. If you can get that 1 hour money flow crossover to continue to the upside, if we could get this daily green dot, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, more likely. If we get that daily green dot, this 90-minute money flow will be the next thing I am looking at. We need this to trend to the upside because when you look at these time frames, if you have the 16-hour green dot with the 1 hour money flow crossover into the green, that Market Cypher B 116 strategy bullish setup that we're talking about, right above that is the daily time frame with the 90-minute money flow crossover. So if you want the bigger move to the upside, those are the signs on Market Cypher B that I'll personally be looking at with the daily green dot, 90-minute money flow crossover. And again, hopefully we could keep this 1 hour money flow in the green as well. It's starting to cross back into the red right now. So we'll see. At this point, guys, we have to remember overall, like locally here, right, we do have a downtrend, right? You have your high, your low, your lower high, your lower low, your lower high, your lower low. And then yesterday when we were talking about the potential pump back up here, we knew that if we're going to put in another lower high, we do have the golden pocket 786 retracement, which was pulled from right hither. This would be that big area, right? If you're looking for those if you're looking for the lower highs to come in, where are they likely to come in at? Well, probably the golden pocket 786. So this is really the big zone that we have to get above. And again, I'm going to go into this in a little bit more detail. There's a few other things that I'm looking at. But just like on this entire move to the downside, my short position up here from about 109,500, what was making me look at that setup? Obviously, I did get the bearish confirmations within our local volume profile that we had up here. Always using those volume profiles as context in the market. You deviate above the high. We had some bearish divergences. We had the SFP of the high. But again, if you're looking for a high, a low, a lower high, and a lower low, what are you going to be looking at? You're going to be looking at that 786 golden pocket retracement. That's the highest probability area for that lower high to come in. And then we even saw that again happen. I believe it was pulled from this high right here, I believe, all the way to the low. Once we put in, high, low, lower high comes in on the fib retracement. You get the lower high comes in on that golden pocket retracement. The lower low comes in. If we're going to put in the lower high, guys, this is 100% the area to do it, right? We're like 3 for 3 here, and, very often that's going to be the case, right? This is not, I did not invent this, right? This is just typically what you're looking at when you're watching the Fibonacci retracements, and this is how you are going to try to stay on the right side of the trades, right? You don't want to be shorting the bottom here. This is pretty much, if we look at the order flow, we have a lot of shorts come in here, and we saw a lot of them get liquidated on the way up. So a lot of this move, in my opinion, was a lot of liquidations happening, a lot of stop losses getting hit, and a lot of the shorts getting kicked out because they were just entering too late, right? We short at the highs. We had the all-time high short set up in the Discord. We had this short set up in the Discord. And even this, I wasn't looking at this to take it personally, but we knew this was a high probability area to put in the lower high for another lower low, and we got that to play out. So this is 100% one of the biggest levels of resistance, and I want to go a little bit more in detail on that right now. So again, this is technically a downtrend. So if we're going to continue, that's the place to do it, which is, would kind of stink if we have to put in that lower low. However, This is nice because it gives us a clear area to break above in order to look for much higher prices on Bitcoin. And you know that's going to come in not only at that 786 Fibonacci retracement, guys, but remember, this is a very, very, very confluent level. If we pull up the current macro value area, the value area high sits just above that at about 105,750. And then we also have this major trend line. And I really only look at trend lines every so often. I don't trade based off trend lines, but this can really help us just identify, like, this is a clear local downtrend. Once we break above this trend line, right, this could potentially indicate that we might be changing local market structure here to continue a move to the upside. And when you start to pair that with the idea that we did get the SFP of the low here, is it going to be enough? I'm going to go a little bit deeper on the higher time frames because you guys know we still have that weekly red dot that might be looking to print. We are in a tricky situation right now with Bitcoin. I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. We have the weekly red dot. We have the 3-day money flow still kind of looking like garbage, right? But then you have the 16-hour, 1-hour bullish market cipher B setup. You have the daily green dot potentially incoming. So there's a lot of mixed signals here, right? That weekly red dot, if we're going to print it, I would expect it probably to print this weekend, right? It's either going to print or we're either going to get a push down with the red dot printing. That would probably be an indication that we're probably going to go to those lower targets I just talked about. If we do not get that and we start to see a little bit of support here on Sunday with that weekly candle close, we get a little support on that zero line with that VWAP. Maybe we could dodge that bearish scenario, right? Like, the one thing I like here is that we swept that liquidity, but again, we can't forget that we are pretty much just in a local downtrend, right? Like, the trend is your friend until the end. The hard part is identifying if you're going to finally break that trend. And right now, market cipher B is a little bit chopped up there, right? Like, our hope here for the move up is that the daily green dot prints, the 90-minute money flow crossover happens, you get the continuation up, you start to break above this trend line. And if you could do that, right, that would be the first thing that I would look at for looking for higher prices. And I'm going to get a little bit into more detail with the key levels that we have above and kind of what we need to see to kind of call for all-time highs potentially, right? But at the end of the day, if you just simplify things, value area high of the macro range is it's confluent with the trend line, it's confluent with the 786, and it's even confluent if you're a pattern person, right, and you're looking at this as a head and shoulders. I know a lot of people are looking at this as a head and shoulders. You guys know I don't trade patterns, but sometimes you can look for them for like technical targets and stuff. That's kind of how I use them, but it's also pretty much the neckline of that head and shoulders as well, right? So this is important. This is the target we were looking at for a retracement back up. If we cannot break above here, we might be able to continue that downtrend. But again, if we break above that trend line, I would really like to see, as long as we can stay above that, right, and potentially get a bounce, we might be able to get that bigger push to the upside. And we have some key levels up here that I'm watching. I'm going to go over in just a second, but we do have to be careful of that weekly red dot. Like, we'll see what happens on Sunday. Maybe we print it. Maybe we get the support on the zero line. And like I said, like, market cipher B right now, it does have slightly mixed signals as we just went over. So we'll see what happens. And, if I am going to take another long position, I will kind of be waiting, right? At this point, people might say, Frankie, if you have the 1-hour money flow crossover, you see some of these bullish signs, the green dot on the daily is looking to print, you sweat the liquidity. Why not just take a long right now? And there's a very, very clear answer for that. And the answer is, I can't really just long directly into resistance here. Now, although you could break out and get the big move up, I would rather wait for a breakout and then a retest to get into, at that point you're saying, hey, we're breaking above the trend line, we're retesting. We could be, it's just a little bit more of a sound trade in my opinion, right? Because right now it's like you're just longing directly into resistance. I would rather, if I don't catch that long at the low, I'm totally fine letting that move come up. I will just find another entry, but not just as price is coming up, right? We have to wait for some kind of structure change or, a pullback into a golden pocket, etc. We need to wait for like a high time frame, or not a high time frame, but a key level or key support resistance flip, etc. Right? I would just want to wait for that sign of strength first before looking for the long position, unless you're in at the low, right? If you get in at the low, I personally didn't take that, but it was there, right? You had the SFP, it did print on the 4-hour, and we did get the push up, right? But again, we're in a downtrend. Like, things are kind of all over the place right now. Now, to add a little bit more confusion into this, guys, the monthly, right? We had the monthly. This is something we talked about many and many times. If we pull up our Heikinashi candles here real quick, market cipher B is designed, shout out to CryptoFace. I hope I'm not wrong about this. I'm pretty sure market cipher B is designed for Heikinashi candles. You guys can see we also, one of the big things here, right? Now, I want to be very clear. I've talked about this, in the past on live streams, like for the past 2 weeks. Even if we did get the bigger retracement down, guys, I'm still bullish on Bitcoin, right? Like just because we shorted, when I short at 109,500, a lot of people are like, why would you short Bitcoin? And the answer to that is because we can make money on all these moves to the downside, right? It does not mean that I am overall bearish on Bitcoin. I am 100% overall bullish on Bitcoin. I don't think the bear market is here. I always say, is there a chance the bear market could be here? Sure. But I just generally don't fall in that camp. I didn't fall in the camp down here at 75K. I still don't fall in that camp. So I am just generally bullish on Bitcoin for anyone who might be like new to the charts and confused on like why we're saying it's gonna, like that looks like a very scary dump, but that would not mean to me that the bear market is here, right? It would just be a very, very, in my opinion, good long opportunity, right? Especially if we come into that anchored VWAP from the low, right? Like more often than not, if you're lucky enough to come get that test of the anchored VWAP from the low, it is more often than not a very, 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 very good long opportunity. So, if we did pull back there, I'm still bullish on Bitcoin. I want to be very, very clear about that because I know it could get kind of confusing when you're looking at the lower time frames. Well, you're just looking for a lower low. Is he bearish? No, right? I would just still be looking at that as a long opportunity. Plenty of support down below. And again, it wouldn't be that bad to pull back there and retest that anchored VWAP. So if we look at the monthly on the Heikin-Ashi candles, guys, we have that monthly green dot printing, and I'm going to cover this very briefly because we talked about this so much in the past. Monthly green dot printing, 2-day, money flow. Woo-hoo-hoo! Crossing into the green here, guys. This is the biggest high time frame signal that I would be watching. Frankie, why? If you've tuned into any of the live streams recently, guys, any of these 2-day money flow crossovers, 2-day money flow crossover, 2-day money flow crossover, all of these, and I even think this one back here as well, I believe was, you guys can see that now right here, right? Money flow crossover to the green. I believe this one as well. But all of these money flow crossovers into the green on the 2-day have indicated not only the next leg up in the bull market, but they were also all confluent with monthly green dots, meaning the 2-day money flow was crossing over into the green at the same time as those monthly green dots printing, and that is a bullish market cipher B 116 strategy on a very high time frame. So this is why I say we're in a little bit of an interesting situation, because it's like all these signals have indicated massive legs up in the past, and we're in a local downtrend, right? But things are generally bullish. Even if we do pull back there, if that monthly green dot continues to print here on the Heikin-Ashi candles, even if this money flow fakes back out into the red, right, and then it crosses into the green, as long as it happens with that monthly green dot, we could even pull back and still see that signal play out. And it's going to take a long time to kind of see this. This 2-day VWAP is going to take a little time to round up. The monthly green dot is going to take obviously we have another 24 days to confirm that, right? So that could disappear. And even if it's going to confirm, we're going to have to wait for that. But really, that's why that 2-day money flow crossover is going to be a very, very, very big signal I'm looking at. Not only is it starting to play around with the zero line, we already faked out into the green, came back into the red. But as we always say with money flow, guys, it is all about the general trend, right? We came down. It is generally coming to the upside, showing us that money is not leaving the asset, but coming into the asset. So, that is something I'm going to be watching for the higher time frames. It doesn't mean that you can't get the bigger pullback unless that monthly green dot disappears. I would say that, it would still be in play. We'll have to assess the situation if we come down, but hopefully we don't have to deal with that. But this is kind of like why things are in a little bit of a weird situation. Monthly green dot, 2-day money flow crossover. You have the 16 in the 1 hour, but then, we're coming into resistance. We could put in a lower high here, but overall, long term, even if you did something like that, it still could be very, very, very bullish. So yeah, this is what I'm looking at. And in order to see those all-time highs, guys, I'm going to be watching that trend line that I just pulled up, sitting right here. Number one, what I would like to see is a break above that 786, right? And again, the reason why I can't really long here, or even if we were just coming up right here, I'm longing directly into a resistance zone, right? So I would have to wait for some kind of a pullback to enter along anyway. But if we do just wind up shooting up here, I'm happy to have that come up without me, right? And then once we break above that trend line, we're also cracking above the 786, which could invalidate the idea of the lower high. This is very, very similar to what we looked at when we were coming down to $75,000, right? We have the massive, massive macro trend line. Not that it's as big currently, but you have that massive downtrend, right, with this trend line. And we knew once we got above this level, right, and we were able to hold above it, that could be the indication that we were going to come up to the value area low, flip the value area low, go to the POC, get above the POC, into the high, and then new all-time highs. And we got that to play out perfectly. It's going to be a very similar situation here where I would like to see a break, a little bit of a lower time frame situation, but if we can get above that level, as long as we can stay above it, I would really, really think that, hold above that value area high, hold above that trend line. That is the first sign of strength that I would be looking at to call for higher prices. Now, I don't want to say, it's hard, right? Like, I wouldn't say that, like, just breaking that level is just instantly going to make me anticipate all-time highs. You do have local levels above, but again, it would be huge because, again, you're breaking out of your macro value area high. This is the biggest level of resistance on the chart. And the reason for that is because if you can't get back above that level, it does increase the chances that you could get that next likely place, that next likely target on Bitcoin is going to be the POC. So if you do not want that, we got to get above that 786 and more importantly, the value area high. And this is, again, all complement right there, right? So it'd be very important to get above that level and stay above it. If we do get that, the levels above that I will be watching, plain and simple, are going to be this value area low, sitting at about $107,089. This is the doorway to higher prices, in my opinion. If we could get above that trend line, right? At that point, we might be able to get gravitated towards this volume profile. And once we get into this value area low, that increases the chances, right? There's a very high probability that we can come up to the POC and the value area high of this range, where I'll be honest, guys, we do have a bit of resistance up there, right? If I start pulling up some of these horizontal levels of resistance, you have a daily naked point of two daily naked points of controls up here. You also have, I believe, a weekly level. Yeah, you got a weekly level here at about $109-ish thousand. And then just above that on the value area high, you do have some more confluence, right? So if we get above that value area low, I would say it's looking pretty good, right? Especially if you have that 2-day money flow crossover into the green with the monthly green dot. Like, I'm feeling pretty good. Reclaim this value area low. It could be this shot into new all-time highs, but you do have to understand that there are two very, very confluent levels of resistance that you want to get above. So, I've been saying this. Right now, the doorway to higher prices is going to be 107, call it 107, 170, but really, you got to be careful. These are like the last two levels you got to get above. I'd feel very, very good getting above this level, but really, these are the only two walls in front of you. But again, at that point, it's like, well, hey, if we're sitting up at 107.3, right, you're out of this value area. The goal here is to get out of this macro volume profile. If we can't get out of this macro volume profile, that's your ticket to the POC at 97K. But if you can get out of there, the reason I feel so good if we get out of here is because you're now leaving that situation where you're potentially getting accepted into your lower value, right? And right now we are still technically stuck underneath it, right? So get above that value area low. We will then get accepted into this upper value. Very high probability you're coming up to the POC and the value area high, and then even getting above 107K, the opportunity to come into new all-time highs becomes very, very clear, right? Or much more probable. My question, personally, right? I'm just going to be very, I don't know what the word is. I'm just going to be straight transparent here. My question is, what is that weekly red dot going to do if we get up there, right? At that point, it's like if we're going to do that maybe this weekend or next week, we get up in here and we get the bigger push up. It's like we would have to be banking on that weekly VWAP getting rejected at that zero line and just cranking to the upside, which is possible, right? It is possible. But when you look at this as like just a binary signal, it's like, hey, that VWAP's looking for a red dot. That's generally bearish. But again, it would be very bearish if we get that and we're below the value area high, right? If we come up, I would think that this VWAP did not print the red dot, and that would be nice, right? So that's what I'm going to be looking at. And this zone of resistance is sitting between 104.3 up to about 105.750, 105.8. Once you get above there, you're above your trend line. You're above your macro trend line, or I don't know if I would say this macro. Well, I guess it is macro, right? You're above your trend line. You're above the 786, which invalidates the idea of the lower high and the lower low. And you're above your macro value area high. At that point, I'd like to see a reclaim of 107K, and then maybe, just maybe, that is our escape of getting the bigger correction to 97K. If we don't get that reclaim and we get the weekly red dot and we cannot break out of the value area high, my next steps for price action are going to be about $100,000 in confluence with this 99.5 daily naked point of control, and potentially, just in terms of the volume profile, get below the high, can't get back above. That POC is definitely in the cards. So if you don't want the POC at 97K in the cards anymore, you got to get above this trend line and the 786 and the value area high. That is what I'm looking at, right? And then if we break out, we can look for pullbacks to potentially look for longs on the way up. So there you go. That is generally Shout out to Ken Barkoff said, come on, bullish divergences. Let's go. Let's go. Shout out to Ken Barkoff. Yeah, I mean, I will say, guys, SFP of this low, this is something that we've been looking at for quite some time on the live streams in the Discord. So, yeah, it's kind of chopped up here, to be honest. It's a little bit of a tricky situation on Bitcoin right now. And I'm not afraid to admit that, right? Like, even for someone like me, sometimes things are a little bit like, you just have to take your signals and your TA and kind of like weigh what the most probable situation is. And right now, I would say, downtrend, stuck under the value area high, rejecting the golden pocket 786. You're thinking like, well, hey, you could make that low. But then you see the market cipher B signals, and it's like, man, you might be able to squeeze up. So it's a little bit difficult, and that's why I would just be waiting for the break up first for a long. Or if we come back down, I'm still sitting in my short from 109,500 from up here, right? So I'll just continue to capitalize on that. So I am covered short, and then just waiting to see what's going to go on here to see if we could take a long back up to higher prices. And then if we are here next week up in this range, we could use these levels. Use these levels to kind of be like, well, hey, we're holding the value area low. Next target's the PLC. Get above the PLC. We could use this as our local guide for where price is going to go next. So there we go. Let's see. Yo, shout out to James said, hey, Frankie, and all from Thailand. Shout out to Thailand. Let's go, baby. Welcome in. Bitcoin pumping only means dominance gets bigger. Yeah, we could take a look at Bitcoin dominance as well. Let's see. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. Well, we actually took a poll here. Oh, baby. Oh, man, it is a battle here in the poll. Is the bottom in? Yes, we're about to moon to all-time highs. And nope, this support will break soon. 36 versus 37% with 1% more people thinking that the all-time highs are coming in. And that kind of signifies exactly how I feel. I would say, yeah, like from a structure standpoint here, this could be a lower high, which would call for a lower low. Simply put, right? But we can't just ignore the fact that you can just push up here potentially, and if we do, that would be a big sign of strength, right? We never know exactly what is going to happen. Just because we have a high probability area of resistance that a lower high could come in at, sure, it worked here. Sure, it worked here, right? But, I mean, it even worked here locally, right? If I turn off all this, I'll clean up all this messy TA here real quick. Do I have this local range in here anymore? We were even looking at I believe it was this golden pocket here locally on a lower time frame in the Discord saying, hey, we have a volume profile here. That value area high is confluent with the area. That would be a high probability to put another lower high in and another lower low. And same thing here, right? So more often than not, you do see that play out. However, it's going to play out, and at some point, you're going to change trends, right? The trend is your friend until the end. So you have to entertain at least the idea that you can get that move up. And the only reason I'm looking at that is because, or entertaining that as, the only reason I'm not saying like, oh, we're getting a rejection, there's a high we're definitely coming down or high probability of coming down is because we got the SFP of this low. And it's like, we've been looking for this for so long. And, we'll see what happens. But you guys know exactly how I'm handling things right now. Like I said, I did not take the long. It's pretty funny, too, because it's pretty painful, guys. Because, like, a lot of times, it is last night in the Discord, I was letting everybody know, like, well, hey, guys, we did have a lot of shorts coming at the low. We got the SFP looking for that push up here specifically to come up and stop out all the short positions, right? Creep up into this value area, start stopping out all those shorts to get that run back to the upside. And literally woke up this morning, and it was like, okay, boom. We got it, right? So it's like I could have tried to catch that knife, but again, I hate entering positions right before I go to sleep, especially when I don't have like all the exact confirmations that I'm looking for. So, whoops, just zoomed in there. But yeah, let's see. We will take a look at some of the altcoins as well, guys. Let's see. Bitcoin's granny is going to get kicked straight down the stairs. Shout out to Vegas Claw. Just that's domestic granny violence. Fair value gap at 92K. More chance that we hit this. Shout out to James. See, this is what I love, man. Shout out to James. Fair value gaps, totally legit. I don't really trade them myself, but that's not because they don't work. It's just, you can only look at so much stuff. And the reason that, you can't really look at everything. And I always say this, right? This is why I don't, you could see our volume profile strategies play out great. Fibonacci retracements, MPOCs, all this stuff works out great. But that doesn't like invalidate anyone else's strategy, right? So you say 92K, there's a fair value gap, and we start to look at some of what we're looking at, and it's like, well, that's pretty funny, right? Because around $92,000, we have a value area low, which is also confluent with, I believe, a golden pocket 786 retracement, right? So it's like, it's so funny, right? So it's like, that's why I always say, like, you kind of have to pick and choose what you look at, right? If you want to use fair value gaps and, volume profiles are just like, you don't have to overcomplicate things too much. And more, at the end of the day, we're all looking at the same chart, just analyzing them in different ways. And I would say, like, we also have a CME gap down there as well, which is another reason why, and here's the thing, right? Pull up the macro volume profile real quick. Right, if you do come down there, daily naked point of control sitting at like 91.4. You have the CME gap down there, the value area low. So like in the most bearish case, even if we did come down there, not only will we be coming down to the value area low, which is where we look for longs, but maybe you come fill that fair value gap as well. I would agree with both of those. So it's confluent. Our TAs match each other, I guess. But shout out to James. Yeah, let's go, baby. Let's go. Sui, yeah, we'll take a look at Sui. No problemo. Are we at 1,000 likes yet? Doorway to higher prices is coming for you. Shout out to Mark Dutch. Mark, did you hit the like button? If you did, make sure you hit it an odd amount of times. Sniff it, elbow it, touch it with your butt. We don't care what you guys do to it. We don't judge you. Just make sure if you hit it an odd amount of times. Or if you lick it an odd amount of times. Let's see. All right, so let's continue on. We're going to take a look at Solana as well. As you guys know, we were looking at some key levels on Solana. Might have been the POC of the range. We might have come down to that exact level. We'll talk about that in a second as well. If you guys want to see your favorite altcoins, go ahead and drop them in the chat. Rob the Crypto Slob will count up the votes and let us know what we're looking at. Is Rob here? I did not see. I've been kind of out of chemistry, bro. What is going on, bro? Yo, shout out to Kem, bro. I don't know if you front ran me on that or I front ran you on that. He said CME gap down there as well. 100%, bro. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Maybe Rob is not here. Rob might be at band practice. That's where he was last time. Shout out to Rob the Crypto Snob, though. If he is not here, maybe Darren, if you could get the alt list, let's do like 3 requests, and then I'll run through some free ball the rest. And then we got some giveaways to do as well, guys. So stick around till the end of the stream if you want to win some free Cardano, and 751 likes will get us 3 Frankie Candles hats. Let's go. Drop those alts in the chat. I'm going to start off here with Ethereum. I'll be honest, guys. Like, Ethereum just... Where are we getting the bounce, right? Like, oh, man. This is why I love TA so much. It's like, people say charts are astrology for crypto bros, which is funny because not only crypto bros use TA, but it's crazy, right? We've just been going sideways here for quite some time, right? We talked about this yesterday. Ethereum is just kind of like flatlined here. But we have the key support here at the anchored VWAP. We also have this bigger zone down below between the daily naked point of control and the POC of the range. We came down, right? We got that move. I'll just pull this volume profile. I haven't kept it on the chart, but I've just been pulling it like this, right? We came down. We slipped that value area low. We tapped the daily naked point of control. And right now, we are attempting locally to get back inside that volume profile. So right now, I would say like locally, if you could hold above this value area low, you may be able to fill this back up to the value area high. Potentially, we'll take a look at Market Cypher B in a second. But that's kind of local, right? That would be about a 6% move to the upside. Not too shabby. But if we take a look at the higher time frames, obviously Ethereum's just kind of been going sideways here. But the nice thing is we are inside our upper profile, which is nice, right? As long as you remain inside this range and above, more specifically, this value area low, the doorway to higher prices is open, in my opinion, right? So as long as we stay above this POC right now, we could potentially, I'll get this daily MPOC out the way because this is now tapped. As long as we stay above this blue zone between 2,400 and 2319, that would keep the doorway open to the next targets, which technically the bigger targets sit between about $3,000 and $3,150. That's that next big target. It's the macro golden pocket retracement in confluence with a daily naked point of control. So that would be the bigger kind of level of or bigger target to the upside. If we lose that POC, I will be looking for a move down to the value area low where we also have confluence with a golden pocket. This would not make me think that we're going to zero or anything like that. This would be a healthy golden pocket retracement, assuming that we hold it. Just nothing to really panic about. And again, even if we slip it, we do have the 786 down here. I really would not like to go any lower than that. We have the daily MPOC and the 786. I'll give you guys these levels in a second. But yeah, I would say stay above the POC. Next targets to the upside sitting in the $3,000 to $3,100 zone or $3,150 zone. We also have an honorable mention here at the daily barely front ran this daily at about 28.19. So that is worth knowing that's there as well. But if you lose that POC, looking down towards the value area low golden pocket, deviate below that low. You do have the idea that you have the 786 and the daily MPOC down there. Maybe you deviate once again, get back into the range. We'll have to assess the situation as that develops. What are the higher time frames looking like? What's money flow doing? But these are the key levels down below. In my opinion, unless you're looking to trade the local range on Ethereum, which I just pulled, right? Looking for the deviations above the highs, right? The most reliable trading tool on earth. Deviate above the highs with bearish confirmations. Come back in, get stuck under the high. Next likely place for price to go is the POC, the strongest magnet within the profile. Lose the POC, you're looking to go down towards the low. Once you get the bullish confirmations at the low, right, deviate below. Price is looked at as undervalued. You look to come back into the range, hold the value area low. POC is next. Value area high, deviate again. POC, lose the POC, value area low. Now we are attempting to hold inside here once again. Not a trade signal. I'm not telling you to long Ethereum right now. We're going to take a look at market cipher B in a second. It's not as easy as just waiting for a deviation and shorting, waiting for a deviation and shorting, waiting for a deviation and longing. It's not that easy, right? You have to understand what confirmations you're looking for, which we cover more in the premium Discord. But the as of right now, Ethereum I would say there's not much opportunity here, in my opinion, unless you're trading that local range. You could obviously trade this range until it winds up breaking up or down. But other than that, see if we can hold above that POC and get the bigger move up. Lose it, looking to come down to these lower prices. Value area low, golden pocket sitting between about 20, not 27. Come on. Sitting between about $21.51 and $2,100. And then the 786 daily MPOC zone is sitting at about 1962 and 1937. So those are the biggest levels down below. Hopefully we can hold this, lose that, coming down to these, right? Take a look at market cipher B. Money flow still in the green on the daily here. Let's check that weekly time frame. Yeah, VWAP still trying to come down a bit. Yeah, I would say let's check that 2-day real quick. Yeah, 2-day money flow attempting to come up as well. Just trying its hardest here. And then checking out that monthly real quick. We have that green dot printing on the monthly, which would be nice if you could get that 2-day money flow crossover. So again, I would say the biggest thing to look for as far as money flow right now is the 2-day money flow crossovers, not only on the altcoins, but also on Bitcoin. So yeah, watch that 2-day money flow. Yeah, just kind of wiggling around here. Low, higher low, higher low. It's okay to come back out here a little bit. Just want to put in that higher low and get that crossover into the green, right? That would indicate that the overall trend will continue up. Even if you pull back again, right? Maybe it comes out a little bit more, but as soon as that crosses over with the monthly green dot, the idea is the trend will likely continue to the upside. Not the ebbs and flows, right? The red and green dots indicate the up, the down, the up, the down, but the money flow will indicate the overall trend, right? So yeah, that's what I'll be looking at on Ethereum. Literally nothing to update for the past 28 days, almost a month of just sideways price action here on Ethereum. It gets exciting for like a minute, and then it's like, I'm going to bore everybody out now. But yeah, that's what we're looking at on ETH. And I would say if you could get that 2-day green dot, could get a little bit of a bearish divergence. Not that that would necessarily be the most bearish thing ever, but by front running these bear divs, if you can do that, right? If you do get that green dot, it might look, if you're looking for a bearish divergence to come in here on the 2-day, what do you need? You need a break of structure to the upside. So if that green dot prints, you might be, I can't unsee this, right? Like this does look like you might be able to get that momentum wave to kind of go. And again, maybe that would print a little bit of a correction, but I would be using that as once that green dot prints, could mean that you're going to come up and break that structure to form that beautiful bearish divergence. And those are the targets I'd be looking at. So there you go. ETH is the new XRP. Shout out to Gency, just straight stable coin. When 500K. Shout out to Cardano boy. Welcome in, bro. Hey, if you like Cardano that much, stick around to the end of the stream, and maybe you'll win some free Cardano. Shout out to Tyler Durden. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. It is Friday, guys. It is Friday. Let me go ahead and pin this. Replace pin message. Thank you for that, Tyler. I appreciate you, brother. We got Ondo, AVAX, Solana. We'll take a look at those for sure. Shout out to Darren D-Bone Smith. Says 500K in spring of 2028. I'm not going to lie. I usually people are like 500K tomorrow or next month. I actually don't hate that prediction. That's like a little bit more realistic in my opinion. Shout out to M. Conjo. Says, great ETH. Thank you, bro. I appreciate you for being here. Let's see. Shout out to Prab. Drop those LSs in the chat if you're a Frankie Candle. If you have a Frankie Candles membership, we even got a emoji for the let's see. Let's go. All right, let's continue on. All right. That's Ethereum. Let's check in on Solana real quick, and then we'll get into the requests. So let's take a look here. I did just clean this chart up, so let's pull up the macro range. So as you guys know, as we've been looking at on Solana for quite some time, we've talked about this level. We covered this yesterday, right? Because as we were coming down there yesterday, right, we've been looking at $143 at the POC, $142 as a target for a very long time while we were up here. And it's very hard to – there's the LSLS. Let's get it, baby. Let's go. This is, we talk about these targets when we're up here because you want to try to front run where price is going to go before it happens, right? You don't want to get bearish at support. Finally, we did see that come in, and we have come into the point of control of this range. There are two major levels I'm looking at on Solana, and they're the same levels we've been looking at. We're just sitting at one of them now. We have the point of control of the range. This is also confluent with, I believe, a tapped weekly level. We had a weekly level down there. I believe we also had a daily MPOC, which is now tapped. This is what made up that zone, and what happens, right? We get that push down. We're starting to get the bounce off that daily MPOC, and we even got something we've been looking at on a lot of the altcoins as we had key support down below was bullish divergences, lower lows on price action, higher lows on the momentum waves. You got that green dot to confirm as you push into that POC, and we get the little bit of a bounce. Now, is this going to be the bottom for Solana off into new higher prices? I even talked about how this would be in a very somewhat of an attractive price for me to even potentially dollar cost average into a little bit more of spot Solana. I think I said that weird. Dollar cost average a little bit more into spot Solana. Like spot Solana is a separate thing. There's two major levels here, right? This is level number one. And just within the context of the volume profiles, guys, we have to understand, right? When you approach from the low, you look to flip the value area low. Next likely place for price to go is the POC. When you flip that value area low, there's about an 80% chance of a move to the POC, and not only that, but flipping the POC and a move to the value area high. This is why our trading strategies are so accurate, right? It's because we're just not fighting the value, right? Like we just look for these high probability fills of the ranges. We do it on the way down to the POC, to the low, from the low to the POC, to the high, from the high to the POC, to the low, from the low to the POC. As you can see, nothing is 100%. We got rejected from the POC for the bigger move down. But more often than not, this is our guide for price, and it's the most reliable thing on earth. I literally will get this tattooed on my forehead one day. But if we do not hold this, and I'll be honest, right, because we're approaching after a deviation above the high, this is looked at as overvalued. Inside the volume profile is the fair value for the asset. This is overvalued. This is undervalued. Shorts up here, longs down here. Once you get the bearish confirmations up here or you get accepted back into your range, the idea when approaching from the high after filling the range in full here would be to get below the high, go to the POC, and then eventually the full fill of that range would likely bring you down to the value area low. Now, it's not just the volume profile that makes me like that value area low as well. This was really the biggest confluent level. We had the NPOC, the point of control of the range, and the weekly level. And what happens? You get the bounce. If we do not hold this level, based off the context of this volume profile, if we get stuck underneath here, could be on our way to the value area low. Now, this is the golden pocket pulled from the low. The full golden pocket full golden pocket retracement from the low to the high here of this entire move up all the way from August 7th. The golden pocket sits down there. It would make sense to get that full retracement. And the fact that not only do you have the golden pocket down there, but you also have a daily MPOC, and you also have the you have a monthly level down there, a daily MPOC, the macro golden pocket, the value area low of the range. Do we have a daily down there as well? You could see all the confluence that we have in here. These are the levels that you want to look for bounces off of, right? It's not just, we have a daily here. Could you bounce off that? Yes. But really, it's these high confluence areas that you're going to be looking at for big moves. And that is the next big level for that is, or the next confluent level we have is at that value area low. And it does make sense for the full fill of that range, if it does come in, to look to come down here, right? Is it impossible to bounce off the POC? Not really. You do have the bullish divergence here on the 8-hour, right? You also have your 16-hour, not only green dot, but bullish divergence. 1-hour money flow. Not really confluent there for the 116 strategy, though. You do have the 16-hour bull div, though. No daily bull div either. So, yeah, I'd be patient here, right? I'd be patient. Like, sure, maybe you get a little continued push up, but within the profile, I would really prefer this lower level. I can't guarantee it comes in, but you have a ton of confluence down there, and you also Yeah, I mean, maybe the green dot print, you get a bigger push to the upside. I mean, these are the biggest levels. You lose this, I'm going to be looking down here. You have a daily here at about $136, but again, there's not a lot of confluence there, right? All the confluence sits here at the value area low. So as long as we live within this range, right, you look from the low, POC, value area high. Get back in, high, POC, potentially the value area low. These are the biggest levels on Solana. Plain and simple. Value area low zone sits between 130.31. Let me hide some of this stuff so I can actually, and 124.19. That is that lower zone. And then once we deviate below there, you could come down to the full 786. Once you lose that 786 at 115.18, I'd be looking for a much bigger drop down. So yeah, there you go. Solana not looking, or not, I wouldn't say not looking too bad, but pretty much doing exactly what we wanted it to do. Check out the weekly. Yeah, you got the weekly red dot printing. No blood diamond here, I don't believe, or it wasn't here yesterday. Yeah, you don't have the blood diamond, which is nice. Typically, these tight trigger waves with the red dots give you blood diamonds. I would also say money flow looks kind of nasty here as well. So yeah, I wouldn't expect. I would say any bounces off that POC could be short-lived just because that high time frame red dot on the weekly. But we'll see. Those are the key levels we're looking at on Solanzo. Let's see. Sui sounds like a girl you met in Thailand who dances salsa. Yo, shout out to Fake His Claw, bro. You cracked me up, man. Let's see. Bearded McMike. Let's go, baby. Says Soul has the same. Soul has the same thing with bull divs on longer time frames, but not shorter time frames. So we have the 8-hour bull div. We also have the 16-hour bull div. But again, like it's really money flow here that's not very confluent. You're kind of faking out, but generally this is trending to the downside more often than not, right? Like you get the crossover, you do get another push down, right? The money flow indicates the longer term trend, right? Money flow comes out, crossover into the red, boom. And the same thing with the crossovers into the green, right? Coming up, money flow crosses into the green, bigger push up. And even here, right? Money flow comes out. What happens? Sure, you get another push up, but you do continue the push to the downside. So yeah, I would just be careful with that weekly red dot. You have the 16-hour bull divs, the 8-hour bull divs, which could give you a continued bounce, but I just don't know how long-lived those are going to be with that weekly red dot printing. All right, let's see. All right, let's take a quick look. What do we got? We got Ondo, AVAX, and we got Solana on there. So Ondo, and let's take a quick look at Ondo. Actually, let's take a look at AVAX first. So let me pull back up. Let's take Market Cipher A off real quick. Let's pull up our key levels here. Yeah, so macro upper range. I'm going to pull this. What else do we have here? All right, let's take a look here. I mean, this is honestly, this is 1860 is where we got the bounce from. Let's take a look here. I don't have this one fully marked up. Let's see what I got here. Zoom out a bit. Yeah, you got a few different ranges in here. All right, so the main thing I would be looking at here, let me take this off. I'm going to clean this up a bit. Okay. Let's take a look at the 4-hour real quick. Huh. I haven't taken a look at AVAX in quite some time. I would say, this is very clearly your biggest value area, right? The deviation above the high, back in, POC, back to the low, back to the POC, back to the high, deviate, back in, back to the POC, back to the high, back to the POC. So kind of two areas of value. This is your larger area of balance, and then you also have this kind of local range right here as well. Mark this out. These are the levels I'll give you today. Pull that up. Value area low. Whoops. POC. And bada boom. Okay, so I would let's come on down to a lower time frame. Pull a fib here. Come on. There we go. All right. So you have your golden pocket here. I just don't have any MPOCs or anything. So I don't have a I don't want to spend too much time like marking this up from scratch. But I would say, I mean, you got back in, value area low, back to the POC, back to the low. You lost the POC. I mean, this golden pocket would be pretty important to hold, to be honest, right? This is from the low on April 7th, from the low to the high. Golden pocket, and then you have your 786 sitting just below that. I will try to find a little bit, if we have it, I will try to find some confluence here. Pull up some MPOCs real fast. You do have a daily MPOC sitting right here at about 1826. You have a weekly MPOC sitting right down here, which is boom. See if you have a monthly. No monthly MPOCs there. You only have a monthly MPOC above. Okay, so, and let me just see if we have any dailies. Yeah, so you bounced off the daily right here as well. Yeah, so that's nice. I will label this as a tapped daily because we already tapped it, but just to give context of like kind of what you're bouncing off of here. You came down to the golden pocket, the daily. You're getting the bounce. Your goal here would be to reclaim the value area low sitting at about 1950. If you could get that, the doorway of the POC is open. I don't know how good I'd feel about that. You have an MPOC down below, and then I would mark this out as a zone. This is your biggest key level of support. 786 weekly naked point of control. If you cannot reclaim your value area low here and get above that POC for a bigger move up, actually drag this down to the daily naked point of control. Yeah. And once you lose that daily MPOC, this is your biggest level of support. That's your last chance to bounce before new lows. You start losing that 786 and that weekly MPOC, very likely, because that invalidates the idea of continuing your overall uptrend, right? You could put a higher low in here on the 786 weekly MPOC zone. Once you lose that 786, it starts to invalidate the idea of that higher low coming in, which would call for lower prices and a new low to be made. So these are the biggest support levels I would look at. And again, I would try to find more confluence here if we have more time. But yeah, from a Fibonacci standpoint, from an MPOC standpoint, these would be the biggest levels. Zone number one, or daily net MPOC down below at 1826. 786 weekly MPOC between 1728 and 1640. Those would be the next levels. But you're definitely pushing into support here. Right, so your hope here is that you're going to bounce, get the push up over that POC, and continue up. But if Bitcoin keeps dumping, I would very, 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 very not expect anything explosive out of that. But could just be, some kind of a local bounce. That's pretty much what I'd be looking at here on AVAX, to be quite honest. If we pull up Market Cipher real quick, daily money flow in the red. VWAP coming up, though. 2-day, yeah, I still think on a lot of the altcoins, guys, the 2-day money flow is really the thing to look for. And at the end of the day, right, like even if you play around here, come back down to the 786, like, you could just kind of chop around here while this money flow kind of trends up. And then once you cross over into the green, that's where you can start the bigger move up through that profile, targeting, 40.95 or 40.64 at the value area high. So it's not necessarily where I'd be looking for shorts, right? Like you've already gotten the move down. The shorts were to be had up here. So yeah, you're definitely at support, and that's what I would look for. So just be patient for that 2-day money flow crossover if it's going to happen. Take a look at the weekly. Yeah, weekly red dot. I mean, a weekly bull div would be nice, but that would require you to put in a new low, right? So something to keep an eye on. Pull this lower range, you might be able to get a level to put that in at. Yeah, I mean, you got the POC of that previous range on that 786 as well. This is definitely a key level of support. If you lose that 786, the biggest level I would watch is about $12. Put that lower low into that value area low. That could give you the weekly bull div. That would be the bearish case. But yeah, for right now, this is what I would look at. Value area low sitting at 1943. POC sitting at 2099, almost 21. And then the value area high at 4064. And then lose that golden pocket daily MPOC, looking down here towards the level that I explained before. So there you go. There is AVAX. When 500K, shout out to Mabel. 500K tomorrow. I'm just kidding. All right, let's continue on here. Once I pull out your grandma's pension money, I'll leave. Shout out to Nirvana. Dang, Nirvana out there taking grandma's pension money. Unbelievable. All right, let's see here. Shout out to the Mrs. Candles hands in the chat. All right, let's see. Have you ever analyzed meme coins here on the channel? Shout out to Madzilla. Yeah, we take a look at meme coins often when people ask for them. But if the meme coin is like a $1 million market cap, there's really nothing to do TA on. But Fartcoin, Pepe, like the ones that have some kind of like Fartcoin, actually, for example. We took a look at Fartcoin recently and talked about how technically this thing has been trading, right? You know, it's if you're looking at like you know, something with a $500,000 market cap, it's like there's nothing on that chart that's really going to indicate anything. This, you know, obviously with such a low market cap, but you know, Fartcoin, same thing with these volume profiles, right? Resistance, you get back in, flip the value area low to support. Next likely place for price to go is the POC. Once you flip that POC to support, next likely place for price to go, the value area high. When you deviate above, that's where you're looking at price as overvalued. You get accepted back in, get stuck under the value area high. At that point, the next likely place, the high probability target for price is going to be the POC. And right now, you are attempting to lose the POC. So if you get stuck underneath here, next key level of support on Fartcoin, you know, honorable mention here on Fartcoin, 74 cents is the value area low. Is that confluent with any significant Fibonacci retracements? Close to the golden pocket. Let's pull it all the way to the low here. Yeah, from the low all the way to the current high. Golden pocket support. So I didn't plan on looking at Fartcoin today, but you mentioned meme coin, so we're just taking a look here. Between about 75 and 70 cents. Golden pocket. Value area low. Just looking for MPOC confluence there. No, you do have a weekly and monthly MPOC. I'm actually going to mark these out. Just the monthly MPOC. Weekly MPOC. These would be the two major zones on Fartcoin if you get rejected out of your value area, right? Get stuck under the POC. This would be the next big target to the downside. Lose that. Could be coming down here. Nice confluence down there with the monthly MPOC and the full 786 retracement. Hopefully, you don't have to see that, right? Hopefully, you could just reclaim POC, but, you know, again, from the low, POC to the high. The magnetic nature of the volume profiles are insane. POC, lose the POC, value area low. Hopefully, you could bounce off there if you have to come down more. Lose it, 786 would be the next thing to look for. So there you go. From a market cipher perspective, let's see. We don't have much information here on the 2-day. Money flow already in the green. VWAP trying to come up. We don't have any information on the weekly. 16-hour bull div did print. The only thing with this is, oh, I already had the MPOCs on the chart. Yeah, you can see here, these weekly MPOCs are crazy, right? What do we reject? Sure, this was some kind of a bearish divergence. Yeah, daily bear div into the weekly MPOC. Just to give you guys an idea kind of how this works. Higher highs on your price action, lower highs on your momentum waves. Money flow coming out on the daily, green dot looking to print though, so just be careful of like potential bounces to come in here, but the overall trend is down. So if you do get that green dot to print, you might be able to come to the upside a little bit more, but the overall anticipation here with money flow would be the continuation of the downtrend. But yeah, you get to see, pull up that main volume profile. You deviate above the high, bearish divergences. You have the weekly MPOC confluence, beautiful confluence. Yeah, I mean, that very technical trading here on Fartcoin, I'm not going to lie. Pretty crazy. So there you go. Let's see if we have any horizontals here. I didn't realize I had these horizontal levels on the chart. Yeah, you have a daily down there as well. Like, this is your next super confluent level of support, in my opinion. Let's pull this local range. It's not as clean. I don't like that. But yeah, there you go. There's Fartcoin. Pull your fib in private. Yo, shout out. I didn't even see who said that. Yo, shout out to James. Said, good channel. Gotta love Frankie's enthusiasm. Have a great day. Have a great day, all. Bye. Shout out to James. Thank you for being here, bro. And I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Let's see. Yeah, maybe we can take a look at Dogecoin. We haven't taken a look at Doge in quite some time. Trying to take a look at Doge. Let's take a quick look at Sui and Ondo. Actually, let's take Ondo first just because that was on the list. Okay. So, interesting thing here with Ondo is that we did not fill the range to the high, right? That makes me think, right? And you can just see here, bullish divergences into your value area low back to the POC. The anticipated move here. If you could reclaim this POC, I would definitely look up to the value area high. It's not impossible to front run the value area high and come to the low. But again, just based off the general rules of the volume profiles, would hope for a move to the high. But again, this is going to really depend on what Bitcoin decides to do, right? But these are definitely the, let's pull from the low to the high here. Yeah. Oh, you're bouncing right off your 786. So I would say this. Lose your 786 here at 76 cents. I'd be looking at the value area low at about 66 cents. If you could get the higher low to come in at your 786. Again, if you're looking for a low, a high, a higher low, and a higher high into that value area high of the range at $1.23, your hope here would be to hold that 786. Once you lose that 786, I would definitely be looking towards the value area low. So this is your last resort. You got to bounce here. The problem is even if you do bounce here, or you are bouncing here, but what happens? You bounce right into the POC of the range. So I get stuck underneath here, lose that 786. I'd be looking down here. If you can hold it, reclaim POC, next major target would be the value area high. Pretty simple. That's like a nice, clean analysis right there. And let's pull up some of our higher time frame support. Yeah, you're on a monthly level there as well. I believe that is a naked monthly. Yeah, you tapped into that monthly. I really do like that. Let's pull up. Yeah, I mean, I'm actually not going to lie. You have a lot of confluence like right here as well. I would hope to hold that monthly. If you lose the 786, again, that value area low is probably going to be likely in my opinion. But again, because you didn't get the full fill to the high, if we tap the value area high here, I would be much more confident in a move to the value area low. But because you did not fill this range in full, maybe you do just kind of hold support here. You might just play around with that POC, but you got to reclaim that POC to call for the value area high. But those are the key levels. You're bouncing off the 786 monthly. You lose that. Technically, you can come down to between 74 and 70 cents. Maybe you continue up there. I don't know. You're just getting eerily close to the value area low at that point. I would play that step by step. I would say monthly, 786 is a big level to hold. See what happens. You do have the bullish divergence into that monthly as well on the 16-hour, which is nice. Green dot printing, 1 hour money flow, attempting to come up, not quite there just yet. Take a look at the daily. You don't have the daily bull div yet, but if you were to print a green dot right now, you'd have the tiniest little bull div on the daily. I wouldn't like write home about it, but technically there. Let's check the weekly. Yeah, weekly red dot confirmed. That's better than freshly printing. Yeah, I would just say, 76 cents. That's your big level to hold. You have the honorable mention of the daily MPOC and the daily horizontal closer to 70 cents. But again, I don't know. You're just getting close to that value area low. But I would just, you really want to hold this level, to be honest. VWAP coming up on the 2-day as well. Money flow not looking as good as many other things. But you'll see. See if you can get that green dot on the 2-day. This is your biggest key level, 76 cents. Hold that. Get above the POC. You can look for higher prices. If you lose it, I'd be looking definitely closer to the value area low. Let's see. Show the calf, Frankie. Shout out to Jay Violet. Calf. All right, let's check it out. Let me see. I just want to make sure I'm not wearing my rainbow butterfly socks real quick. Oh, no. We got normal socks on today. Wonder if YouTube thinks this is, like, inappropriate. Oh, yeah. Bada boom. There's those calves, baby. And they're not implants. Some people accuse Frankie Candles of having calf implants. They're legit, guys. They're legit. I swear. There you go. Sui. Let's take a look at Sui real quick. See it. Let's see. That's not our Sui chart. There it is. All right, let's take a look here. Sui ripping. I don't know if I would say it's ripping. I would say ripping like, generally. Locally, we are getting a push up here. Hopefully it can continue to rip. Let's see. So you did. Let me. All right. So, this anchored VWAP. I mean, you're hitting key resistance. This is. We actually talked about this, right? On Sui. Key support, value area low, daily MPOC. We're technically holding that right now. The reason. Lose the daily MPOC. We had the value area high sitting below. This was our doorway to lower prices. Gladly, we got the bounce before we got there. If we got accepted below that doorway to lower prices, could be on your way to about $2.46. So just keep that in mind. That key level is 282. Lose 282, probably coming a bit deeper down to 246. However, we didn't have to do that, right? We got the. You actually did get a little tiny SFP there. Got the bounce back above your MPOC. You're back above the value area low, which is nice. You have the no bull div here on the 8-hour, no bull div on the 10-hour. You do have the bull div on the 16-hour, and no bull div on the daily. So you got the 16-hour bull div below the volume profile, right? You're back above the value area low. At this point, I would say you are at massive, massive resistance here, right? You have the anchored VWAP from the low on April 7th or April 6th. This anchored VWAP is key to get above. If you reject this anchored VWAP, you may be able to get the bigger move down. This would be a huge level to get above. Daily MPOC is now tapped. Let me see if we have a new one there, potentially. No, we have one just above that. No, monthly. Yeah, that anchored VWAP. I would say this. If you can get above that anchored VWAP, this is a huge level, right? Because number one, you deviate below your low. That's okay. This is typically where you want to look for longs. You got above your value area low. You got to hold this as support, and more importantly, break above that anchored VWAP. Because this is generally what will swap you from a, if you're looking for an uptrend to continue, you're hoping to hold that anchored VWAP to continue the uptrend. It's okay that you slipped it a little bit here on a higher time frame like a weekly. It might just look like a wick below the anchored VWAP, which is fine, right? But you have to reclaim it if you want to continue that uptrend. So very important resistance here that you were literally touching to the dollar right now. Let's pull this fib real quick. Yeah, and it's your 786 golden pocket retracement. So I would say this. You're hitting resistance, but that doesn't mean you have to go to zero necessarily. I would say you're above the value area low. That's nice. Hitting the golden pocket anchored VWAP. Get above that anchored VWAP. Flip that 786. That could give you the continuation up towards your POC. You have other key local levels between that or before that, right? You would pull this next Fibonacci retracement. Yeah, you got some work to do, but at the end of the day, you're above your value area low. Important level is the anchored VWAP sitting at 322. Get above that, flip the 786, and hold generally above that level. Doorway to the POC is open, right? As long as you stay above the value area low and that anchored VWAP does not slam you back down, you could have the doorway open to the POC. If you get rejected from that anchored VWAP, it might turn a little bit more bearish, and you're praying to yourself, if you get the drop down here, you can get rid of that daily MPOC. If you lose this value area low, you're praying that you bounce off this value area high, because if you do not and you get stuck underneath it, I would anticipate a much bigger drop down. Moment of truth here. Get above there, please, for the love of God, Sui. So there you go. That is what I would look at on Sui. Taking a look at Market Cipher B real quick. Yeah, I mean, you do have your 16-hour bull div, 2-day, VWAP, and money flow attempting to come up here. Again, same thing as all the other altcoins. Looking for that money flow crossover into the green on the 2-day. This will very likely signal the next big move to the upside. You can see money flow started coming up back here. Can you guys see that? Back here, you start getting that money flow coming up. Price starts to creep up. Money flow crossover into the green. Indicates the trend will continue up. Doesn't mean you can't pull back, but the overall trend was likely to continue to the upside. Massive move up. Same thing here. Similar. Money flow creeps to the upside, right? Or starts to creep to the upside. You start creeping up, creeping up, creeping up, creeping up. If you want this trend to continue to the upside, you would hope that that 2-day money flow crosses into the green. But those are the key levels. Very important level to get above right now. Like literally a moment of truth right here. And if you do get a little rejection here, you're hoping that you hold above the value area low and eventually reclaim it. You have to reclaim that VWAP. If you want to get that on your chart, watch my anchored VWAP tutorial that we dropped last week, I think. Was it last week or this week? Check out the anchored VWAP tutorial, and it is pulled from the low here on April 7th. So there you go. Let's see. Great stream. Shout out to Amber. Thank you for being here. It's hard to put 25K into DeFi and not be worried about a hack or a project rugging. Shout out to Seth. Yes, I would agree with that. Bitcoin dominant. Shout out to Perry, of course, bro. We can take a look at BTC.D. Take a look. Take a sip of that ass. Oh, man. I mean, we're here. 786 has about to get tapped. If you want the altcoins to rally, this is the level you want to reject from. This is the opportunity to put in a high, a low, a lower high, and a lower low to come test this key level of support down at 60.95%. If you break and hold above that 786 decisively, the next major target for dominance is 66.21%. No bueno for altcoins, typically. We're about to tap that level. This whole zone is the area where you're hoping for a lower high and a lower low. If we look at the daily here, Oh, money flow like trying to come down. 8 hour. Yeah, we really want to see this. You got to see this rejection at the 786. If you do not, and you flip this, 66.21%. Yikes. Not good for alts. But the nice thing is, if you do, I would like to start seeing some bear divs here. If you can get that 8 hour bear div and get this to nuke, and you get the lower high here, lower low could be incoming to break structure here into that key zone of support. This would, I wouldn't say this is alt season, right? But this would give alts room to rally. You're hoping for that lower high. If you do not get that, pretty similar to what we looked at yesterday, though. You're right there. Hope for the rejection. Do we have a 4 hour bear div? No. Eesh. Give me something. All right, you're getting some local bear divs here, potentially, into that resistance. Lower highs under 1 hour. But yeah, I would say this is the biggest key level right now. 64.73%. You can wick above it, but you break and hold that. You could be on your way to the bigger macro 786. You have your macro golden pocket. This is where we had that first kind of altcoin rally that we saw back in November, December. We got back into the value area. The next stop was the POC. We play around with that POC. You do not want to hold above this POC, and you definitely want to reject that 786. I mean, from a volume profile perspective, you would expect to come up here, to be honest. You would really hope for that lower high here, and we are literally tapping that level as we speak. So watch that. 64.75%. Break that. 66.21 could be next. Shout out to 999 Forever said, great premium lives. Yeah, shout out to 999, bro. That was a saucy premium live stream, bro. Yeah, that was a good one. If you're here and you're in the premium Discord and you missed the live stream earlier today, guys, go back and watch that premium live stream in the Discord. Very, very, very educational and literally break down exactly what I looked for to see this continued retracement from down here last night and pushing up. It was like an ExoCharts tutorial. Definitely go check that out if you're in the premium. All right, let's see. Thank you, Frankie. No problem, Perry. I got you, bro. Shout out to Nirvana says BTC dominance looks like the S&P chart. Let's take a look at the S&P real quick. Let's pull it back up over here. Yeah, I mean, listen, S&P cooking through this volume profile, guys. From a volume profile perspective on the S&P, get above the value area low, flip it to support. POC is next. Flip above that POC, push into the value area high. We'll have to see what happens on Monday. But, I mean, this would be good. If we could flip that POC on the S&P and push into the value area high, that would be good for another move up on Bitcoin. I don't hate that. Money flow crossing over into the green on the daily. So you got 2-day. 2-day money flow trying to come up. Monthly green dot printing. I don't know. Tap that golden pocket. Can we put the higher high in? That'd be what we need for Bitcoin. That's for sure. Def gonna watch later. Yeah, shout out to Wayne C. I mean, you got my full thoughts on the next trades that we're looking for, as well as honestly the education. Super educational today. Let's see. 6 months of 2025 have passed, and a brief period between April and May was some green, but so far only a waste of time. Shout out to D Knights. 6 months of 2025. Yeah, I mean, I guess on Bitcoin. Yeah, I mean, kind of just like started where we started in, where was January 1st here? Yeah, January 1st, we started at 96. Now we're at 104. Up a little bit, I guess. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people entered this market in 2025, which, I mean, yeah, you got to buy the dips. I don't know. Shout out to Knights. I don't know if you didn't. I don't know if you bought up here or not. But yeah, I mean, if you were buying in January, slightly up. But again, buying after, massive move up like that, it's a difficult situation. But if you waited for a cool off, bought at 75K, you're currently up 40% on your money. Not too bad. All right, let's take a look at Dogecoin real quick. Yeah, shout out to PDR. I actually said I was going to take a look at Dogecoin. We took a look at Sui, took a look at Ondo, took a look at AVAX, took a look at Solana. Let's take a quick look at Dogecoin. Started from the bottom, now we're here. Let's go, baby. Run up the likes, baby. Roadrunner, smash that like button, guys. If we get 751 likes on tonight's live stream, we'll give away 3 Frankie Candles hats. Will they be? Oh, God, I wonder what my hair looks like right now. It's not going to be good. It's not going to be good, guys. I'm due for a haircut. I'm going to get a haircut this weekend. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to let it go. I'm just going to let it go. Not too bad. Oh, wow. Never mind. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Thought that was going to be much worse. But let's see. Shout out to Perry. He said, Drummer, I don't like to hold positions for the weekends. I will find another entry. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, shout out to Perry. He said, got the long from the SFP yesterday. Close already in profit. Shout out to Perry. Listen. You want to take partial profits, hold the rest of it for a runner, that's fine. If you want to close it out in profit, just take that trade as a win. As long as you're making money, brother, that is what you got to do. Shout out to you, man. The one thing I hate hearing is I took the long, I never took profit, and went down to 0. So, sometimes it can get hard, right? You take a long position, you close it all in full, and it's like, oh, man, it kept going, right? Missed gains are none of your business. If you start worrying about, I longed down here, and I closed it in profit, right? And then price continues to run up, right? Like, these missed gains are none of your business, right? If your plan was to take it from here to here, say, and close that in full, and you made money, that's the name of the game, right? But that's why a lot of times I do like to take partial profits, enter here, say, for a random example here on Dogecoin, enter here, right? Maybe you hit your first target, take some profit, move your stop loss to break even. You're in a guaranteed winning trade at that point, right? If it does keep running, then beautiful. If not, you stop out in profit, still win the trade. But it's never, don't ever feel bad if you open a trade and close a trade in full and then it continues to run. That's totally fine. If you start trying to chase that, you're going to be chasing stuff for your rest of your life, right? It's going to be like, oh, I shorted. Oh, I closed the trade. And it's like, oh, my God, it went down without me. It's like, it's okay. You can always find another position. But anyway, but shout out to Perry. Congratulations, bro. Love to hear that. Love to hear that. Let's pull up the Dogecoin chart. All right. Did we not look at Dogecoin yesterday? So we lost to 786, in which case, right, you lose that 786. Next key level is that value area low. Now you're below this anchored VWAP. Again, to hold the aggressive uptrend, you would hope to hold that anchored VWAP for the higher low and the continuation of the general uptrend. Doesn't mean it's all over just yet. You do have the key support here, value area low of the range. And you can see here, flip that value area low. Next stop, POC of the range, which is right here. That says previous POC. Let's make that POC of the range. Let's pull from the low to the high here. Yeah, so I would say your next key level here would be the value area low to the 786. Kind of a big level to hold, right? I'm going to take this golden pocket off the chart because it's already hit. Value area low 786. You would hope to hold this level. If you lose this level, I really prefer to stay above that to continue the overall uptrend, right? Tap into the 786, reclaim value area low, look to work your way back up towards that POC. If you lose that 786, you do have support down below. You have a weekly MPOC sitting here at about 14 cents. But again, at that point, you've lost your 786. The opportunity to come make a new low increases once you lose that 786, in my personal opinion, right? Or just from a Fibonacci standpoint. So yeah, I would hope that if you come down, you hold this value area low 786 retracement. Lose it. Local, you do have the weekly MPOC here, but again, it greatly increases the chances to come make a new low into this other weekly MPOC at 1262. These are the key levels, but as long as you remain inside this volume profile, right? Or I'm sorry, inside this volume profile. Doorway to the POC and potential higher price is technically open. You just do not want to lose that 786. Biggest level of support sits right here at 16 to 1572. Hold above that, you can reclaim value area, come back up. Lose it. Again, honorable mention here at 14 cents, but I really don't want to lose that 786. I would be expecting new lows. Money flow, choppy on the daily. Nothing really to take away from there. 4-hour VWAP. Let's check the weekly. Yeah, weekly red dot printing. Weekly money flow also in the red. Now, this is not as big of a problem, in my opinion, as Bitcoin's money flow crossing over into the red. When Bitcoin's money flow crosses over into the red, it pretty much means bear market, right? Historically. Altcoins tend to ebb and flow a little bit more on the weekly. So it's not as big of a problem, in my opinion, as it is on Bitcoin. When we see it on Bitcoin, it's like massive warning signal. Dogecoin, still obviously bearish when you see it on an altcoin, but they do oscillate a little bit more on the altcoins. But if you did get the bigger drop down into this naked point of control on the weekly, you have an opportunity to potentially put in a weekly bull div. Depending on what money flow looks like at that point, could look for that. I would say, weekly MPOC sitting here at 12.126 is a big level to watch. Lose the 786, I'd generally be looking down there unless you wick into that local weekly naked point of control, the closer naked point of control at 14 cents. Really just want to hold above that blue box, to be honest. So there you go. Let's see. Monthly VWAP kind of bing-bonging around there. 4 hour. Something like this. Push into the 786 with a 4-hour bull div might not be the worst thing ever. To get back into the, but again, reclaiming that value area low is going to be huge at that point. So yeah, I don't want to beat the dead horse here. 16 to 15, 0.167 to 0.157, biggest level of support. Lose that, looking down, right? Maybe you hold that weekly MPOC, but again, losing that 786 is more bearish in my opinion. All right, let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Anyone else want to celebrate his upcoming birthday? I guess it's a new trend to start celebrating 3 weeks in advance and 1 week later. Shout out to Mark Dutch. Whose birthday is it? Let's go. My birthday passed a while ago. But whose birthday is it? It's Rob the Crypto Song's birthday every single day. If you've been here for long enough, you guys know that. He has a birthday every single dang day. Let's see here. Let's see. Mrs. Candles, can you look at Doge, please? Shout out to Mrs. Candles, who was fully deflated from yesterday once again. Oh, shout out to Jay Violet's birthday is tomorrow. My birthday's this year. Shout out to Tyler Durden. Let's go, baby. Happy birthday, Tyler. But Jay Violet's birthday is tomorrow, guys. Drop some birthday cakes in the chat for Jay Violet. Let's go. Happy birthday, Jay. You've been here for quite some time, and you deserve a CandleMafia birthday celebration. I'm going to drop some birthday candles in the chat for you. Let's go. Birthday candles and cakes in the chat. I'm spamming my own chat. Tony, don't block me. Don't block me. Don't ban me, Tony. Don't ban me. Let's go. Shout out to Jay. Shout out to Jay Violet. Let's go. Happy birthday. Bada boom, bada bing. Wayne C gave it. Yo, it glitched. Congratulations, Wayne C. You won the giveaway. Well, shout out to Wayne C. If you don't actually win in the real giveaway, we'll have to honor that, bro. We'll have to honor that. Shout out to Wayne C. Congratulations. You're the only winner today. But let's run the giveaway. Shout out to Tony D. Let's run the giveaways, bro. Just drop it. And let's see. Bitcoin going down to 100K. Wow, can't read that name. Just scrub back to the beginning of the stream. You'll get all the sauce on Bitcoin. Let's see. Gotta love kids' parties. We're going to get some pizza and some soda. We're going to get all hyped up on sugar. Shout out to Wayne C. Does that mean I get it all? All the giveaways go to Wayne C. Let's go. Shout out to Grant. Said, hey, Frankie, greetings from the UK. Shout out to Grant. Welcome in, bro. Happy to have you here. Shout out to all the way to the UK. Let's go. Okay, there we go. Okay, Wayne C is included in the giveaway winner. Shout out to Wayne C. Let's go. Benjamin Calls, Fallout Crypto, Open World Gamer, Pop-Up Gorilla, Samay, the GOAT. Let's go. Surfs Up Crypto, Navex, Nirvana, Nick Dunn, and Lose. Or Louise. Let's go. W Stream. Shout out to Nitro. Shout out to the giveaway winners. You are now pinned to the top of the chat. If you see your name on that pinned chat, guys, go to the free Discord, go to the Help Center, and claim your free Cardano. We do this every single week on a Friday, and when we hit like goals, we give away much more. But you guys are going to win a bag of Cardano. Let's see. Shout out to Nirvana. Said, dang, I won. Happy days. Let's go. Let's go. Shout out to Nirvana. You deserve it, bro. You've been here for quite some time. Shout out to Ram Power said, sorry I'm spamming grass. Trying to get it seen. Shout out to Ram Power. I'll take a look at grass for you, bro. Actually did not even see you pop that. I didn't even see it pop up, which means I guess you weren't being that spammy. Let's take a look here. Did anybody see this, by the way? Did anybody see this? I happen to notice this. Anybody see this? RIP to anybody that holds their spot Bitcoin on MEXC. This is crazy. Went to literal zero. Literal zero. Like, if I hover over this candle, you can see right here on the low, literal. That's weird. It literally just said zero, and now it says 0.02. Literally, Bitcoin went to zero on the MEXC spot chart. I don't know what happens there. If you hold your spot Bitcoin there, it must have been some kind of a glitch. Imagine holding your spot Bitcoin bags that, like, maybe you even bought in the bear market at 15K and you have a stop loss and you just get scammed out of all your Bitcoin. I don't know if that would have triggered their stop loss if it was a glitch, but I just imagine, like, oh my God, imagine that. What a talk about an SFP. Just swing every single low on the chart. Yikes, man. If you hold your spot Bitcoin on MEXC, I hope that your stop loss didn't get triggered from that glitch. But that would be the most painful thing ever. Oh, God. I don't even know what causes that. That's insane. I saw that. That's like, literally. Imagine having limit orders set. Would that fill your limit orders? I would assume it doesn't, right? That would be too good to be true. Just set limit. It's like always pays to have limit order set at $1, right? I mean, just literally put a $100 order in here and get 100 Bitcoin. There's no way that would work. I've never had an experience like that. But that is crazy. Literally went to zero, guys. That is insane. Should have had buys down there. Yeah, shout out to Ram Power. I don't know if that would work. But, I mean, hey, it doesn't hurt to have them down there, right? If it works, it works. If it doesn't, whatever. But, yeah, I wonder if that would work. I don't know. I've never tried it. Graz. But let's take a look at grass real quick for Ram Power here. I'm just trying to get something with a little bit more price history. So, funny enough, MEXC has the most price history. All right, so let me pull this real quick. So you got kind of like two major value areas here. I mean, you're breaking back out of this volume profile, which is nice. I'm going to give you the local analysis. I'll give you this. Like, the bigger target to the upside, right? Your bigger range that you would want to get accepted into is going to be sitting all the way up here, right? You got your value area low. You've already gotten rejected from that a couple times. A major volume, major value up here. Fair value, imbalance, and then you kind of have this other fair value down here. But I would say, like, you know, you tried to get back in here, rejected. Tried to get back in, rejected, rejected, rejected. So the doorway to higher prices, in my opinion, on grass here is going to be right here. Doorway to HP, higher prices. It is your value area low of the range. If you could flip that sitting at 246, that is your next best chance to get a push up into the POC at 294. Flip 294, push into the value area high at 335. That's your biggest doorway to higher prices, in my opinion. Now, locally, I'll give you some local levels as well. Let's pull up the daily real quick. Just get my bearings here, pull from the low to the high, and nice bounce off the 786. Like, very technical there, which is nice. So you bounced off the golden pocket 786. That's nice for a higher low. Low, high, higher low, potential higher high. Targeting that POC if you're going to break structure to the upside at 294. Again, you have that big wall at the value area low that slammed you down almost every single time you've come up to it. But yeah, I don't really hate that bounce off the 786. Let's take a look at the 4 hour real quick. Money flow trying to come up on the 4 hour. Daily money flow trying to come back up. You're not going to have a lot of information on the daily. Yeah, your VWAP is coming down on the daily. You could barely see it there. I would be careful. No, I don't know. 3-day VWAP coming up. 2-day green dot looking to print. Money flow coming up. This also scam wicked to like 0, which is 2 cents. Dang. That's weird. I assume that's a visual glitch. I don't know Yeah, I don't know if that actually affected anything. Because that's weird. Because you could see it here on the 2-day, but you don't see it here on the 4-day. You don't see it here on, you see it on the 6-hour, not on the 4-hour. Yeah, I would think that didn't really do anything. If you have anything on, if you hold spot Bitcoin on MEXC, did you get stopped out if you had a stop loss set? Let me know. Yo, Crypto Billy in the chat. Welcome in, Crypto Billy. We got Dave Digital as well. What is going on? It's a glitch on the screen. It happens always. Shout out to Lose. Okay, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. If you're not seeing it on every time frame, that would be crazy. I got scammed in my futures account last week. Shout out to Seth on MEXC or something else. I am getting a phone call here from a scam number. Oh, Jesus. Let's see. Yeah, it was a trading view glitch, not a MEXC glitch. Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know. Yeah, I don't even know. Yeah, I don't think that would even scam you out of position, to be honest. So I guess, is that sitting on all MEXC pairs? Let me just finish this real quick, and then we'll dig into that. Yeah, I mean, listen, holding this 786 would be nice, right? Like, if you're looking for that continuation of the uptrend, this was the level to hold. Low, high, higher, low, potential higher high to come. That would be your anticipation as of right now. You do have resistance above, right? If you pull your fib from the high to the low, I would say the biggest level to break in order to call for bigger targets to get hit is going to be the 786 value area low. Break above there, push into the POC. Until then, right, I would honestly say, like, this whole zone of resistance is going to be dangerous, right? Get above the golden pocket, that's nice, right? But your biggest level is the 786 value area low, sitting at about 246. Once you get above there, you can look for higher prices. Until then, I would be very careful of getting knocked back down. I do love the fact that you bounce off the 786. Money flow trying to come up on the 4-hour. If you can get that, right, maybe you just continue to trend up. Money flow crosses over into the green on the 4-hour. It would indicate the trend can continue to the upside. But these are the biggest levels to look at. Lose that 786 at $1.63. That would indicate you're probably going to break the lows. If you continue up, I mean, really the biggest level to watch, 786 value area low, between 239 and 246. Golden pocket, honorable mention, right? If you're going to change trends here, right? Lower high, lower low. This would be the area to put that lower high in at. So, yeah, we'll see. You've been slammed down by this almost every single time you've gotten up to it. So that's definitely the biggest level. But I like that bounce off the 786. I'm not going to lie. That's a nice technical higher low to make, which would make you eventually anticipate higher highs, break structure to the upside. But you need to flip that value area low to do it. If you flip that value area low, very high chance you push into the POC, in my opinion, at this point with the higher low coming in on the 786. If you don't get rejected from it, you got to flip that to support. POC value area high would be the next target I would watch for. So there you go. That's what I would look for on grass with the limited price history that we have. That's what I would look for. Let's see here. Yeah, I mean, you're back above that value area high, which is nice as well. So, yeah, that's what I would look for on grass. Let's see. We got Valerie in the chat. What is going on, Valerie? Welcome in. Says it's the Army's birthday, and I think it's Trump's birthday, too. Shout out to Valerie. Well, if he would pump this thing, that would be very great. Shout out to Valerie. Welcome in. Good to see you in here, as always. Thanks, Frankie. Shout out to Ram Power. No problemo, brother. Let's see. I was like number 37. We need to get the likes up. Everybody smack that like button for your chance to get a Frankie Candles Richardson 112. Technically, there is still about 1 minute left in the stream. If we run it up to 750, to 751, we will give away some Frankie Candles hats, even though we did already do the giveaways. Seth Shepard says, an ETH leverage position was open and I didn't place the order. My account was cleared the next day. No way. Shout out to Seth Shepard. Where was that at? Good Lord. We did not take a look at virtuals. Maybe that'll be the last. Maybe that'll be the last one that we look at. Let's take a look at virtuals real quick. Bada boom. Yeah, I mean, we're getting rejected back out of our value area. You're rejected from the POC. Yeah, tried to get back in, couldn't do it. Finally held it as support. POC was next. We got the rejection. I mean, right now, your biggest resistance right now on virtuals will be value area low. Probably have local support there as well. I mean, local resistance on the Fibonacci retracement. So I would say until you break above that 786, I'd be suspicious of a lower high and a lower low. Looking at that daily naked point of control golden pocket sitting right here between about $1.40 and $1.34. If you want higher prices, you do not want to put in the lower high. You have to get above that 786. At that point, you're above the value area low. You're breaking the 786, and then you could potentially move back up to the POC. But you do still have your larger fib above you sitting here, so you still have work to do. But I would say the biggest local level of resistance right now would be sitting right here between $1.91 and $2.03. That's the area that if you come back up, that's where the lower high would very likely come in at. And if you do, you would be expecting to break structure to the downside with the next biggest support level sitting down here between $1.40 and $1.34. You do have your daily green dot looking to print. So if you are going to do that, if we get that daily green dot to print here, you got about 31 minutes until we could potentially print another candle here and get that green dot. Money flow trying to come up there. If you get that green dot, your hope here is that you push up and you're able to flip the 786 and just this whole zone to support. You want to get above the value area low overall, but really that 786 is really what I would like to see for a potential bigger push up. And again, it's not just straight into the point of control / daily up here, but it would also you would also have to get above your full retracement. But even if you do get up there, right, like and you reject this 786, at least you have the value area low above you, below you, right? So you might get the lower high, but then you have the chance to hold this as support. The reason I don't like this is because, you know, if we're going to reject here and get the lower low, that would be the place to do it. So those are the key levels I would look at. Watch for that daily green dot. If you get it, hope that you can get above that 786 to push to the upside. But with all that being said, guys, that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. I appreciate every single one of you guys for hanging out with us here on the Frank Candles YouTube channel on a Friday. It's a lot of stuff that you could do here on a Friday. Look at this. I have like a fake middle part on my hair right now. This is crazy. What is that swirl? Good Lord. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Let's see. Frank, you got to sell more dad hats. They're gasolina. Shout out to dad. Shout out to who said that? Kick a long bottom. Let's go. I actually don't have it in the studio right now, but I do have the Heikinashi dad hat. Maybe we'll make some volume profile dad hats. And then if you see people in public, they're like, "What is on your hat?" Only the real ones will know. But yeah, with all that being said, is your head swirl on Meadows Peak? Yeah. I don't know what that's about. That's not normal. I don't always have that. That is a hat hair thing. But yeah, this swirl is crazy. That's insane. Absolutely insane. It's like a permanent part there. What the heck is that? Guys, do I have just one bald spot right there? What is that? Somebody call the cops. What is that? I got alopecia. But anyway, guys, with all that being said, that's all the time I got for tonight's live stream. If you just tuned in, scrub back to the beginning of the stream to get my full thoughts on Bitcoin. Hopefully, I mean, right now, last little check-in on Bitcoin before we hop out of here. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully, you know, if we put that lower high in on that fib retracement level, you know, we will be looking for those lower prices. However, guys, you guys now have the key level that, if broken, will call for all-time highs. And if you just tuned in, scrub back to the beginning of the stream to get my full thoughts on Bitcoin and the level we need to break to get to all-time highs. And if we get the bigger pullback, we give you the key levels of support as well. But with all that being said, guys, thank you for tuning in. Congratulations to the giveaway winners. Happy birthday, Jay Violet. I'll see you guys on Monday, same place, same time, right here, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right on the Frank Candles YouTube channel. That's all I got. Hasta pasta. Frank Candles out. Be safe this weekend. Go touch some grass. Bing bong.
Look what's next for me, Joe. I'm gonna get that second bell. Where the f is it? They should have had them 2 bells ready. Spit shine for me.
Yeah. Head up in the clouds, though they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test. Now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, don't know what is in me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working them up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in mine, yeah.
Yo, Jay Violet's picture is her with a birthday hat on. That's crazy. Shout out to Jay Violet. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jay Violet. Thank you for being part of the Candle Mafia. Happy birthday to you. That's my aggressive for some reason. Happy birthday to Jay Violet. Shout out to Jay Violet. Drop the birthday cakes and the candles in the chat for Jay Violet on your way out, guys. And don't forget to smash that like button if you want to wish Jay Violet a happy birthday. I'll see you guys on Monday. Same place, same time, right here, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Woo! That Aztec King Cactus Moss Water's kicking in. I'll see you guys next time. Hasta pasta. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong!
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy. On the road, here we go, yeah we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command, like, yeah, you about to see me on demand, like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy. On the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll, ayy. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah. On the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy. On the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll, ayy. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah. Maxed out.